Wow, can you believe that it's been 2 years since I quit my job? I literally cannot believe it. What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about all the ins and outs of quitting a job, what I would do different before quitting a job, if I recommend, am I still happy that I quit my job, and it's just something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about and update you guys on because it's a big important part of my life. It's part of my journey. It's who I am. It's my life, and I'm a completely different person from 2 years ago that I am today. So if you guys enjoy these sort of videos and you love this update, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you can see all my fire videos. I'm just gonna tell you the truth about whether quitting your job is the right move and all my regrets about the decisions that I made quitting my job. For those who don't know, I will link the video of the day I quit my job in the description box because I feel like a lot of times you have to get the whole story. But basically, I was being harassed. I feel like harassed is the correct terminology for how I felt. Maybe it's a little bit dramatic, but I feel like that's the best way to describe it. I felt like I was being harassed at my job. I was going to therapy for my mental health because of this job. It's just, I felt like my needs were not being met. And I had all these dreams and goals to be a creator. And it wasn't even to be a creator. Like, I didn't even know what being a creator was when I quit my job. I just knew that I wanted to do content and inspire the world. And luckily, I've had the opportunity to do things that I never would have thought I've been able to do in a million years. I've got to meet people, I've had opportunities, and if I were still at my 9 to 5, I would have not been able to achieve any of those things. So I'm blessed. I'm really super happy and excited that I've had that opportunity. But there's a couple things that I would change. If I could go back in time, what would I do differently? I think first things first is that obviously I was making money on social media before I quit my job. I would never recommend that you guys quit your job without a plan or any sense of security, not sure what you're gonna do, just cold turkey. I had a mini plan. I didn't flush it out as much as I wanted to, but I followed faith. I felt like God was speaking to me. God was like, yo, girl, it's time for you to go. So that's why I left. It wasn't like, I don't know, it's not like anything major happened. I just felt like I needed a change. I felt like I wasn't in the right place anymore. I felt like no matter what I did, I was not gonna feel happy. And when you do have tons of dreams and goals, like, it's hard for you to not follow those. I'm happy that I trusted my gut. I quit my job because I felt like God told me to. I felt moved to quit my job. I felt like that's what I was supposed to be doing. I felt like I prayed on it and God confirmed it and I left. But if I could go back in time, I wish I could have stuck it out a little bit longer, possibly. In my particular scenario, it wasn't an option. I had to go. But if my living situation was a little bit better, or I don't know, I feel like if I lived by myself at that time that I quit, I probably would still be working there and being able to work my job and create. I just feel like I had so many stressful things around me and I couldn't get comfortable with those stressful things. But if I could, I would have stayed at my job and just worked on creation at the same time. You don't want to create or do the thing that you're passionate about with a mindset of, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do if this doesn't work out? Because once you quit your job and this becomes your job, it becomes so serious. It becomes everything to you. You're not sure what's gonna happen. You're super stressed out about the next steps of your life. You don't know if what your next check is gonna come from at times. And when you don't know where your next check is gonna come from. I don't have an OF, and not that I have a problem with OF, but I have a lot of integrity and I'm one of those people that I never saw myself doing like an OF account. But if you're desperate and you need food, you might consider it. You might take brand deals from brands that you would have never considered working with. Same thing with any field. You might invest in a company that without doing research, you might buy property without doing the proper research because you're desperate, right? And you don't want to be in a desperate mindset. That's why it's like really super important that you know that you love what you're doing. You know that you're gonna be okay. So quitting your job prematurely can affect that mindset. It can make you feel like I need to do whatever it takes to eat. You don't want to be starving trying to figure out the next video idea or the next business move. You don't want to have a lack mindset and feel like, what the hell am I gonna do? You want to be able to create freely. You want to be able to be passionate about what you're doing, be true to yourself, and it's so hard to be true to yourself. So I think I was saying that I took money out my 401k as a backup plan, which I would never suggest because you do have to pay a penalty on the 401k if that's what you decide to do. And yeah, it's scary because what if you don't have the money to pay the taxes? What if you don't have the money to pay the penalty the next filing year? What if nothing works out? But also you have to think with the mindset of what if it does work out? Like me, it did work out. If I would have never quit my job, I would have never been able to go to the modeling gig that I went to that connected me to the person who is my boss today. If it wasn't for me taking that leap of faith, I would not be in the scenario that I am in today. It just would have never happened because I was working a 9 to 5, and when someone emails you and says, hey, are you free on this day to do a modeling shoot, and you can't just call out of work or you don't want to get in trouble with work, you have to give up on opportunities. So yeah, for me, I had to quit to be successful in my career. I needed the space to go and network and find who I was and do the content that I enjoy and network and go to events, and all those things were really super important in my life. And I can't take them back, but like I said, not having that stable income could be scary. It could change you as a human. It can make you do things and content for the views as opposed to of doing them because you love to do them. And I am blessed and honored that I, have faith, that I'm a faith-based person, that I'm faith-driven, that everything in my life comes through God, starts with God, ends with God. Sometimes I forget to come to God with my problems, but for the most part, everything is faith-based for me. So I'm super, super happy. That's my journey and that's been my path. I'm excited that I have been able to come to God with my problems. So one of the things that I would suggest, like if you are planning on quitting your job, if you feel like you're not sure, if you feel stuck, if you don't have anything to run to pray to, I don't know how to help you through that path because I really needed God. I really needed to talk to God and have faith in Jesus and have faith that things were gonna happen the way they were supposed to. And I don't know what you have to believe in if you don't have faith. Like, you don't believe in God or universe or whatever. Like, for me, it's just Jesus. I'm Christian. But for you, it could be like the universe. You have to believe that everything's gonna work out for you or it's not gonna work out for you. The law of attraction to me is so real. I knew that everything was gonna work out for me and none of my problems were my problems. And I also knew that I couldn't be in control of the things that maybe I'm usually in control of. It's okay for someone else to be in control of the scenario. I don't want to be in control of my destiny because God's plans for me are so much bigger than mine. Obviously, there's things I can control, like my work ethic, me waking up in the morning, doing the consistent content work, being there and showing up every day. Yeah, I can do that. I can be in charge of that. But as far as what the results are gonna be, what opportunities are gonna come, how the money's gonna come, none of that is my business. All I have to do is show up when the opportunity drops in my lap. I'm not gonna disappear when things fall into my lap. It definitely was a learning curve, y'all. Just having faith, knowing that God got you, knowing that you're gonna be okay. It was hard to learn. I'm on a podcast. Maybe I'll link it in the description box if it's out by the time this video comes out. But I did a podcast and I talk a lot just about faith and how none of my problems are my problems. So even with your job, like if you are trying to quit or if you feel a need to quit your job, but if it's something that can be changed, like I went back and forth with my management about how I felt so much that I knew that there was nothing I would have been able to do to fix that situation. I knew that it was a lost cause. I knew that I was being micromanaged, watched. I knew that it was a matter of time before they would find a reason to let me go. It just was not working out. It was not the best scenario for me. So I'm happy that it happened the way it did. I'm happy that I left before my mental health got disrupted. But let's just say there are things that you can control. Let's say you're not getting along with a coworker, right? Let's say your scenario is that people are negative around you. Go to God and ask him first to remove those people. Pray that only positive people will come into your life. Pray that this is just a moment and that the people that need to be released from your life will be released. And you know what? Sometimes God will remove those people without you having to do anything. Sometimes you just have to come to God and say, hey, like I'm struggling. And he will take care of that situation for you. You might not need to leave your job. Me personally, I just had a dream and I knew that in order for me to follow through on everything that I want to do, that I had to go. But like I said, that might not be your scenario. I took my mental health way more seriously than that job. I knew that how I felt was so much more important than working at a job or feeling responsible. I just did not care what people thought. At one point, I was like, you know what? None of this is my problem. None of this is my problem. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that this is the end of the world if I leave here. There's millions of jobs, and if it's meant for me to find another job, I will. I just feel like so happy with my decision. As an update to you guys, I would have made any other decision. I'm happy with the way my life is. I do want to work a little bit harder in my field. I feel like I've been really relaxed and I can be a little bit more, I feel like I could be a little bit more serious about my career. Not that I'm not serious, that's not what I mean. I just feel like I've been really relaxed and I could take content more serious. I could do YouTube more. I can be a little bit more just a little bit more thoughtful about the content that I'm putting out, right? I feel like I just go with whatever I want and I hope for the best, but I think that it's time for me to go full throttle and be the creator that I know that God wants me to be. I'm not at a point in my life, like I know there's a couple of creators out here that are quitting YouTube because they don't really have passion for it. Yeah, I have my moments where I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, but I still come on here and I enjoy what I do with you guys every day. That's not my story. I for sure plan on getting to 1 million subscribers. I don't plan on leaving. I plan on making a career out of YouTube and then teaching others how to do the same. I don't care how saturated the market gets. I know that saturation doesn't matter when you believe in Jesus, okay? All right, as you can see, I didn't put like any foundation on my face because I've been trying not to put too much makeup on my face. The foundation would have evened it out, but I just want to have like clear skin. I don't always have stuff all over my face. So just gonna go blend this out. But y'all, I absolutely have no regrets. If you're in a season of your life and you just know God is telling you to move, then just move. It's okay. It's okay to take that leap of faith and use your gut and just go with your gut. It's okay to not follow what the rest of the world believes that you should do. It's okay for you to just believe in yourself. And you know what? Like I said, I have no regrets. If I could have worked it out with my job, I would have, but it just wasn't my story. Another thing that I would suggest is just like making a plan before you quit. Know what you want to do, make a roadmap, sit down and say, okay, especially if you're going to be a creator, write down, this is month 1, week 1, this is how many pieces of content, this is what I'm gonna edit. Make a schedule for yourself, because now you are your job. Like, whatever you decide to do, this is your work. You have to take it seriously, if not more seriously than what you did with your 9 to 5, because nobody's gonna make sure that you're meeting a quota. Nobody's gonna make sure your work is getting done. Nobody's gonna make sure that you're pitching. Nobody cares. You're your own business, and people tend to forget that. They think that they could just do it how they were, but you're your own producer, you're your own makeup artist, you're your own creator, especially with my field. If you're in real estate, you have to take the class, you gotta get a mentor, you have to do the things that work for you. Guys, I love you guys so much, and I have no regrets. It's the best decision I ever made. And like I said, I'll make sure to link that video of when I quit my job and how that whole thing went. I don't want to go through that whole story of how I decided to quit. I just hope that you guys are prepared and know. So as an update, I'm so happy. I have freedom. There are some stressors, but it's a different type of stress. I'm in charge of my own destiny, or God is in charge of my destiny. I don't rely on a job that could take my career away anyway, at any moment. It is what it is. That's what it means when you work for someone. Like, people can think that you're valuable one day and the next day decide you're no longer valuable. So I don't have to worry about that. Thank God. All right, so you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.